Hello, I'm so glad you joined us today. You know how I love hearing caregiver stories because every caregiver story is different. And this caregiver is very interesting because she packed her bags and moved to take care of her mother. And though she had a journey and it was tough in the beginning, in the end, it ended up better for both of them. So please listen and like, share, and comment, and please subscribe. And so we can have more beautiful stories like this. Autumn is here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my show. Autumn is here. I am your host, Francine Crawford. And today we have a guest, Xazmin Garza, and she is a caregiver and a comedian. So we welcome her to the show. Welcome, Xazmin.
Thank you so much for having me, Francine. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for taking this time to share your story and your experience. We really appreciate it. But tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Oh man, this question, it always trips me up. I am a comedian. I was living in Brooklyn, New York for 5 years, pursuing comedy, trying to make it. And I had a really vibrant life as a single woman in New York City. And let's see, in 2022, December of 2022, I was faced with the fact that my mom had dementia. And I stopped being in denial about it during a Christmas trip here to visit her in Arizona. And I knew right away during that trip that she needed help. She shouldn't be living alone anymore. And so within a matter of 2 days, I just decided to completely change my life. And I went back to Brooklyn, packed everything up, and came back here to Arizona to live with and take care of my mom full time. She lives in Sun City, which is a retirement town. So I am surrounded by senior citizens all day long. And you know what? That sounds awful, but well, I don't know how it sounds actually, but it's been wonderful. These people are awesome. Her neighbors are all other single elderly women. It's like the Golden Girls, okay? And they all look out for each other. The other day, my mom split her hand. I ran to Walgreens. I was going to be gone for 10 minutes. She cut her hand open. She knew to go to the neighbors. She went to the neighbor's house. She called me immediately, got her to urgent care. We just got the stitches removed this morning. So they all just kind of look out for each other and are there for each other. And I love it. It's a peaceful little community. Not at all like my neighborhood in Brooklyn, where you know how it is, like right outside my window was just yelling and screaming and sirens and garbage trucks and all that. So this thing that I thought was a devastating life change has been the most beautiful gift I've ever received in my life, because what's happening between me and my mom is just invaluable. The closeness that we have developed, the bond that we are sharing is just something I'm just so thankful for.
Awesome. So let me ask you, you mentioned something about at one point you were in denial. What does that look like? What do you mean by you were in denial?
So I hadn't seen my mom for a year before that Christmas trip when I faced what was happening with her. And my family members kept just saying, she's forgetting a lot of things. She's forgetting a lot of things. There were a lot of phone calls that seemed to have serious tones from my younger sister and my dad, where no one would say dementia. Okay. It was just, she's forgetting a lot of things. So I would get worked up and worried and call her, FaceTime her and be like, what are you talking about? Everything's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's okay. But she did a very good job of disguising it and hiding it. And that when we finally, we had a family meeting that Christmas that I was here, when I decided, no, we need to do something about this. And it was me, my dad, and my younger sister, and my mom. And she knew that a serious talk was going to be had. And she just looked at us and said, please don't put me in a home. I'm not ready for a home. That crushed me, broke my heart. And so she knew there was a problem and she was trying to hide it, you know?
Something is going on with her.
Yeah. And we all told her, you don't have to hide this. You don't have to be ashamed of this. We're going to go through it with you. You're not alone. We're going to do this together. And so that meeting was just so important and hard to talk about. And so we said dementia for the first time during that little sit down. And, but it was necessary. And what came of it was beautiful, you know, because our family got tighter.
Okay. So you have your community and you have your family support.
Yes. So the family support is, you know, obviously you can judge for yourself. If I had to uproot my life from Brooklyn and come over here, you can see for yourself what the family support is. You know what I mean? But I have a sister who lives here, and she does give me relief about 1 weekend a month. And that's awesome. She also helps with taking my mom to her life enrichment center. We found an amazing place that it's like a 9 to 5 place for other people who have dementia, and they go there. They're with their peers, and they get fed. They have entertainment. They do exercises. It's been a lifesaver. And my younger sister is the one who found that program. So it's been like, not everyone can be a caregiver. Not everyone has it in them. Okay. So my family members are taking their skills and what they can do, and they are applying them. My older sister will do like research for us and stuff when we need, when we're looking for, we were looking for an attorney for her will and other end of life type of things. She was very helpful with that. My brother came here and helped us look for nursing homes when that time comes, because he has experience with that with his eldest son. So everyone's kind of taking what they are able to do and lending it that way. No one knew I was going to be the one in the family who was going to be the caregiver. Trust me, I've lived a very selfish life up until now. So this shocked everyone, including me. Okay. But I want to talk a little more about that life enrichment center. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. It's called Lucy Ann's. And they offer assistance for people who can't financially pay for it, because it's like more than $100 a day. But it's been a game changer. Okay. My mom explained it so well one day when she told me she gets very frustrated with the remote. The remote control is a gauge for how far the Alzheimer's is going. The more progressed the dementia gets, the more difficult the remote control is for her. And she gets so frustrated and she gets embarrassed. And she told me one day that when she's home and I'm busy and can't cater to her every need, she is so aware of her inadequacies. She's so aware of her dementia. But when she goes to Lucy Ann's, she feels like a leader. She has purpose. She feels great about her life, and that really, really sunk in for me, because I was fighting my siblings on the nursing home. And I still, she's not ready for a nursing home. Okay. We've got a great thing going here.
Right.
But I realize now there's going to be a time when I'm not going to be able to do that anymore for her. And the best thing for her, even if it's going to break my heart, is going to be to put her there. And because of the way she describes to me that day, it's going to make her feel her best,
Yeah. Okay. Well, at least you know that, and at least you're having conversations with her, which is good. You include her into, what's going on, and she's able to express to you. She's comfortable with expressing to you, like, what's going on with her and, how she feels about, especially where she's at. So that's a good thing.
That's why I say this has been such a gift. I'm telling you, man, she woke up one day. She has these days sometimes where she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know where she is. She gets very scared. And she had that one day. And my dad was here. He was making breakfast for her. She came into the living room and I could just tell from her face something was off. I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, I didn't know who I was this morning. And we sat and we talked. The whole time my dad's over there making breakfast. She didn't go to my dad. She came to me. She knew that I was the one who was going to understand and help her with this. So like I said, my family puts their skills that they can do into play. I told my family, my younger sister's very crafty. She made a big sign that says Sylvia. It's really cute. She put all these like little designs on it and stuff. We have that so that when she wakes up, it's the first thing she sees. Okay. She told me, she was like, I woke up, I saw this sign and it clicked. I knew who I was. I knew where I was, so
That's
so she does she knows she can trust me and she knows, and here's the other thing that makes me feel like so good as a caregiver is that like she'll go to my sister's house or to my dad's house. He just got a new place. And when she's not having her needs met, guess who she calls? She calls me. She's like, when are you coming to get me? And it's like, it makes me feel so good.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, she knows that
She can trust you.
it's just a testament. It's a testament to what I've built here with her,
Yeah.
So
That's so
yeah.
awesome. And everybody pitches in and does what they can. Like you said, everybody can't do the whole thing, but everybody does what they can, and what they can does help. So let's talk about a little bit about how this affected your career, because you're a comedian.
Yeah.
How does this affect your career?
Listen, there was a long time when I was like, oh, I'll never talk about this on stage. It's too painful. And I would even, like, other comedians would go up there and talk about their grandparent who had dementia. And I would go from like laughing at their set to just getting emotional and being like, shit, I'm up next. I gotta get ready. I can't, And so just hearing someone talk about it was upsetting me. So I was like, and I never really got vulnerable with my comedy ever. I would express like an opinion on a controversial subject and a strong opinion. And I thought that was me being vulnerable. But that's not. I wasn't opening up about what was happening in my life. There were other big things that had happened to me during my, I've been doing comedy for 11 years. During that time that I would never talk about on stage. But this was all encompassing, and it was all I could think about for so long that it eventually started making its way into my stand-up. And I'm telling you, man, I just headlined a show here in Arizona. It sold out. Amazing. But I'm up there for 50 minutes, and almost all of that material was from the 2 years that I've been here being her caregiver. And a lot of it's about her. And so after these shows, people come up to me and they want to hug me.
Yeah.
They're like, my mom has dementia. I'm a caregiver. I moved to Arizona from New York and was lost. And it's just like opening up like that on stage has made the connection so much stronger with my audiences. So it's just been very beneficial.
Wow, that's great. That's great. And how does that feel?
Man,
To use your life, and that not only use your life on stage and tell jokes and get comedy out of it, because sometimes you have to do that, and you have to laugh about things and stuff like that, and I get that. But how does it feel when you come off stage and you connect with people? You already was connecting with them on stage, but when you're off stage in real life, you're connecting with them. They're saying, I had that same experience.
It's so
Caring.
Yes, it's so much different than getting off stage and having someone come up to you and say, "You're so funny," which I love, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But to have someone come up and be like, "Oh my God, you made me laugh about this thing that is like
Serious. Yeah.
the biggest burden on my family right now." They're like, and then the way that they want to touch me and just look in my eyes and be like, there's this bond that you instantly have with someone who is impacted by dementia. It's because of the transformation that you watch your loved one go through.
Mhm.
You have this idea of them, especially if it's your parent, of them as a strong, wise, almost indestructible person. And then you see this disease
Mhm.
make them feel lost, confused, and it's very, very difficult to watch the transformation. So that's the bond that you have with people. They know that you have seen that and are going through that and trying to cope with that. And so like I said, it's different than someone just coming up and saying, "You're so funny, girl," to come up and say, "Whoa, I'm going through this too. Thank you for making me laugh about it."
Mhm.
That is so fulfilling,
Yeah.
so rewarding.
Yeah. Awesome. That's great. It's like it's meaningful, what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love the laughter, which is great. Did you have any kind of conflicts or anything with trying to get help or dealing with maybe the paperwork and stuff like that? Because this is a new thing. You packed up and you came home to move with your mom to take care of an adult, and she's already has her life and her business and stuff like that. Did you have a hard time or struggles with trying to find out what her benefits were, or dealing with Medicaid or Medicare or social workers or anything like that, or even with the doctors?
So many. And it started during that Christmas trip. When I came, I started looking at her prescriptions, and she had written a question mark on them. She didn't know what the prescriptions were even for. And I looked at the last time they were filled. She wasn't filling her prescriptions because she's forgetting, And her neurologist, she told me that she kept trying to call the neurologist and she wasn't getting anywhere. I called a phone number and it would just ring and ring and ring and ring. I went to that neurologist's office in a rage. I was like, "You're dealing with people who have dementia and you have a phone number listed that goes nowhere." So every day they're calling them because they're forgetting that they're not getting anywhere with it. So, and they have no idea that they have tried this before and that it's leading them nowhere. I was so mad. I was like, you're exploiting their sickness. I was crying. I was so angry. And that was just the beginning of the storm that I was going to deal with. That was just during that Christmas trip. I got her an appointment. We got her meds filled again. She had a very horrible neurologist who, the way he prescribed things was so bad. I went through so much red tape, so many phone calls, so many arguments with insurance, with providers to get her a better neurologist. I researched online. I found the guy I wanted her to see. As soon as we went to him, he was amazing. He looked at her medications. She was sick all the time. I couldn't explain it. She was sick. She had diarrhea. She's tired as hell. He looked at her prescriptions. He's like, "This is why she's sick." He's like, this one right here, one of the side effects is diarrhea, and he has her taking the highest dosage. And I was so angry. I was so mad. He's like, "Do this, this, this. Get her into physical therapy. Get her tested for sleep apnea." Like, he was so good, so good. And as soon as we changed the medication, she's back. She's feeling good. She's vibrant again. She's not sick. That was the biggest change. But I jumped through so many hoops to get her that doctor. I was like, "I'm not stopping." Like, they tried to stop you with all of these things. Well, you'd have to call this person and get this this approved. And then you'll have to do that. I'm like, tell me, I'll do it. I did all of it. So that was just the beginning of it. I was arguing with people constantly. And then it's like, well, we need to talk to your mom. Well, we need to do this. When I got to the point where I would call and I'd be like, this is Sylvia Garza. Yes. Because I'm not going to go through the whole rigmarole.
Yeah.
All that. You're just going to talk to me,
Yeah, you had to do what you have to do. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And see,
Yeah.
and you did that, and you've gotten through that, and you got better care for your mom, and now you're in a better place with
Yes.
everything.
That first year was hell. I'm not going to even lie. That first year of just trying to get all of this stuff taken care of, figure out, why is she doing this? Why is she sick? Why is she, but once we figured it out, now we have a schedule. We have a system. We have these prescriptions. We have, regular visits with these good doctors that I got her. And so now it feels good. I feel proud of myself for what I've done. I look at her, and people always tell me, man, your mom looks great. Your mom looks great. And that's a reflection on me, as her caregiver. And she has not declined. She is like at the exact same, she's better than when I first moved here, So, and the doctors all tell me that's because of you, because you improved her quality of life. And that impacts the dementia. If they just sit there in a chair, they're going to deteriorate very fast.
Right.
But if you get them socializing, if you give them brain games, if you keep them engaged, it's going to be a much slower progression.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience? Anything that you think that they may need to know, or something that you came across that people don't know and you need the information to get out there, that somebody who was taking care of their loved one?
Yeah, I would recommend, once you decide to do this, first of all, it is devastating. It's a devastating diagnosis to get and a devastating thing to deal with. And you're allowed to have all of the feelings that are associated with that devastation. Feel them, don't fight them. But please know that if you take it seriously and take your job as a caregiver seriously and do the best that you can for them, something rewarding is coming your way. Something truly rewarding from that caregiving experience is coming your way, for sure. And I would just suggest, there are so many resources out there. There are so many resources. I take some days off of work so that you can just find the resources and look into them. It's going to be a process. There's a lot of red tape. There's a lot of hoops you got to jump through. But if you're willing to do it, you're going to improve your loved one's life, which is going to improve your life. And do not forget, everyone tells caregivers this, take care of yourself too. Get that time for you and your friends, and take care of yourself,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time and sharing this story. I'm so glad that it seems like it was like a growth journey with you. So that's awesome. And that you're at a good place and you have systems in place, and she's better. So that's awesome. So thank you for sharing your story. I'm sure it will encourage other caregivers.
I hope so. And reach out to me whenever. I love talking to other caregivers.
and the best of everything for you and your career.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Take care. Good night.
You too.